What's going on, YouTube? Just making a quick video here to explain my absence from YouTube for the last few weeks. You guys may see the cut on my neck here, but we'll get into that in the video here. Before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to those of you that took time to message me and call me and visit me and stuff like that to check just to make sure that I was okay. So aside from those of you that I've been able to thank in person, Diana, Travis, thanks for, checking on me and everything like that. I really appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate the friendship that we have here. I just want to give additional shout-out names. Special shout-out to YouTube name 19, Eric and Isaiah Costa. You guys, part of my car club, you guys are always right there for me, and, I appreciate you guys, being active on the channel and everything like that, and, I appreciate the genuine excitement and interest that you guys share in my car, so thanks for being a subscriber. The following people have messaged me directly on through text and stuff like that. Not to put them above the rest of you, but these guys that I hold very dear and close to me, that I've shared my true identity and everything like that to them. RT Life and Johnny Pro. Johnny Pro, I appreciate the extra messages and everything like that you've done to check on me. I mean, it's been couple weeks since all of this happened and everything like that, and even up till last night and yesterday, you were texting me and just checking on me, so I appreciate you, man. And how could I forget my boy Growl's Garage, man? I appreciate you as well. And big news for you, man. I mean, congratulations on your new baby boy there. It's a handsome kid you got there, man. I know you're gonna raise him well. All right, you take care of him, okay? Well, Wheezy, I mean, dude, you were messaging me even just this morning, just making sure that I'm okay, so I appreciate you as well. So, I'm going to use you guys' Instagram names. I know they're different from your Facebook names. They're also different from your YouTube names, stuff like that, but this is just the names that I have in front of me right now. So, we have N2O All-Wheel Drive. I appreciate you. N Tomorrow 15, Build It RT, DC Recreational, Maldo 72 YouTube, Rhino Ninja 55, 666 Slash, dude, I appreciate you, man. I mean, you're always there for me, and I appreciate you, just being able to talk and stuff like that whenever I need it. 2016 RT, Dirty Benzo, Danielle 14 RT, coming into winter, and I know you're gonna be missing your car here, and you don't drive it around in New York in the winter and stuff like that. So make sure you protect it from the critters and stuff like that while it's in storage. Moepar 345, MOEPAR _ 345. I appreciate you. One Dab Racing, NVMB.Carson. I appreciate you, man. Allen's RT. Dude, hopefully you guys are still enjoying those SRT menus that you unlocked for your car and your son's car with my taser. So hopefully everything's working well with that. If you have any issues, definitely just hit me up and we can get all that stuff resolved. CT Charger and N2O All-Wheel Drive. I appreciate all of you guys for sending those messages and just checking up on me. It's great to have a lot of you guys to actually take the extra concern and time just to make sure that I'm doing well. Nothing against anybody else. You may not be subscribed to me on Instagram, stuff like that, so you may not know what's going on. So that's why I'm kind of making this video explaining why I've been missing for a while. But once I get a little bit better here, I'll start trying to get some of those videos pumped up. Anyways, onto the video. What's going on, YouTube? So, the question's been asked, where has Dasllamas been? Those of you that follow me on Instagram kind of have an idea about what happened or what's going on, where I've been. But I ended up needing emergency neck surgery about a week ago. So, there we go. We had to end up hacking my neck open and fusing my C4 to C5 and C5 to C6 vertebrae. So I wasn't in an accident or anything like that. It's kind of just a freak course of events. So basically what happened earlier this month, I woke up on a Saturday and just kind of had a stiff neck, and just went on about my day. It was pretty bad. It hurt, but I just figured I slept on it wrong. I I took some over-the-counter pain medication and stuff like that to see if I can make the pain go away. But it didn't matter what I did. It just was hurt. I slept on it again. The next day, it started hurting even more, and now the pain went from my neck and started traveling down my shoulder, and then over here in the deltoid muscle area, it started to really burn. And typically when you have burning pain, that indicates some nerve issues. But the pain was absolutely unbearable the following day. I ended up having to go to urgent care, and they thought I might have a pinched nerve or something like that. They just gave me some steroids and some pain medicine and said, hey, go pick up these prescriptions and go home, see how that works. So I did exactly that. The following day after that, which was a Monday, it just got worse. The pain is now, in my neck, in my shoulder. My upper part of my arm was on fire. Like, I swear, the only thing that was missing was flames actually coming off of my arm. Then I started getting pain in my forearm, and then some tingling in my fingers. So I ended up going to my chiropractor, thinking that maybe something was out of whack, whatever. Went and talked to him. He didn't really feel too comfortable adjusting anything, just because if there was a pinched nerve or something in my neck, he didn't want to cause any issues there. So he ended up ordering an MRI for me. So this is kind of where it starts getting a little more interesting. So we ordered the MRI, and that was Monday morning, and here I am in excruciating pain. The Percocets that they prescribed to me were doing nothing to stop any of the pain or anything like that. And as a lot of doctors' offices and a lot of insurances work, I sat around for 6 hours waiting for a phone call. Ended up calling the MRI place, and they hadn't even done anything to contact my insurance in the way of approving my MRI. So I tried to take things in my own hands. I called my insurance. They said that when they get the request, they'll work on it, and it would take 2 to 3 days to approve it. Well, I wasn't too happy about that, so they got an earful, and ultimately they approved my MRI that evening, but the doctor's office is already closed. Scheduled it to go in the next day, got the MRI, and couldn't see my doctor until the following day. So we are now Wednesday, so about 5 days after the pain started. It's just absolute agony at this point. Every day that goes by, I was in more pain. I hadn't slept for 2 nights straight because, my arm just would keep me up. If you guys have ever had a pinched nerve before or any sort of nerve pain, you guys can absolutely relate. It is the strangest feeling to think that the pain is here, but in reality, the pain is here. So it doesn't matter what you do here, you actually have to treat it back here where there's the issue. So ended up going to my doctor's office so we could review the MRI scan on the 5th day, and go in, and the doctor who read the MRI and everything like that basically wrote a report, and I was basically told that he didn't really see anything. Well, at this point, my arm is basically dead. My hand is stuck in kind of this formation. I couldn't really move my hand anymore. I've lost all strength, so the arm was basically just, a dangling appendage at this point. I've lost the ability to hold up my own head. My head is just slouched down, and I figured that's probably a good time to go to the emergency room. It wasn't as calm as that. I stormed out of the doctor's office because I didn't like to hear the fact that they didn't see anything in the MRI. Obviously something was wrong. So we ended up going over to the emergency room, and they checked me in. They got me in really quick. I mean, most of the time, I've been in the emergency room a few times before, and a lot of time is you check in and you sit there for an hour in the waiting room waiting for them to get you in. But I don't know, maybe I was lucky that day and it was slow, and they were able to get me in within a few minutes. You know, the pain, just, I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't even, you know, process things right. They finally got a bunch of morphine in me in order to cut the pain. So I ended up spending about 9 hours in the emergency room as they were trying to get my MRI scans, because you know, I didn't really think I was going to the emergency room that day, so the CD that had my scan and everything that the MRI place gave me, I left it at home. And home was a long drive from where the emergency room was, because my doctor's office was a couple of towns over. But it was snowing and everything that day, and the doctors basically said, no, don't worry about it, we'll just get them to send it over to us. Long, drawn-out process, but a huge shout-out to the MRI location. They sent it over to their closest location, the emergency room. One of the techs in there reburned the scan onto a CD and personally drove it over to the emergency room for me. And you know, it was snowing and it was cold and it was terrible roads and everything that day, so whoever that person is, I really do appreciate them. But ultimately the neurosurgeon came and looked at the scan, and you know, MRIs, they show you a little bit about what's going on inside. They don't show a lot of detail, but basically what was going on is he saw that there was some bone spurring in my vertebrae. There was a degenerating disc, and it looked like there was a possible cyst. And basically all of this was collapsing the channels of in my spine, where the nerves come out to control my arms. I've dealt with pain in my left arm for years, and but it's never gone to the point of going numb or losing strength. It's just you know, it was a pain that I dealt with for about 9-10 years. So given the fact that I couldn't even hold my head up anymore, and I'm losing function of my right arm, they opted to bring me in for emergency surgery. So within about 24 hours, 36 hours of being checked into the emergency room, I was sitting on the operating table. So it just happened to be my birthday, so turning 37 years old. So a lot of you guys might be like, oh my god, you're old, and there's probably some of you that are like, oh my god, you look like you're 50 and you're only 37. But my birthday gift this year was a new spine for myself, so happy birthday to me for that. But they ended up going in, and it turns out that the bone spurring they saw on the MRI, it was actually a lot worse. The doctor basically said it was significant bone spurring, and the disc that was degenerating had gone so far that the front of my vertebrae, like towards the front of my neck here, the vertebrae had collapsed down and was almost touching the two vertebrae, the C5 and C6, I think. So my neck was all sorts of jacked up. But you know, they go in there, and it's kind of interesting. They go in there and they put these metal spacers in there, and then they separate your vertebrae about 1 millimeter, and they just go in with a pick, and they just pick out, slowly pick out the disc material. And once they get it all cleaned out and they pull out all the spurs and everything like that out of your neck, they end up sliding these trays in there that has a calcium material. I call it cadaver bone. I don't know what they actually use anymore, but I think they blend up bone material, and it's a calcium material in a lattice grid inside this tray, which promotes the growth of bone between the vertebrae. So now that the disc is gone, they end up sliding these trays in there, and then the front of the tray, there's kind of a metal band on the front of the tray, and then they take screws and they screw through that tray into the vertebrae above and screw through the tray into the vertebrae below. So right now I have 8 screws in my neck, and those trays in place of 2 of my discs. And the wonders of science, you know, I don't know how it worked, but you know, I only lost, you know, about 5% range of motion, which is what he told me I lost. And honestly, you know, right now I got everything that I thought I had before, and technically I feel like I have more range of motion in comparison to what I had before because of all the issues with my neck. But you know, we're about 2 weeks after surgery now. Not quite 2 weeks, but a week and a half. And, you know, I have movement. I feel fine. I just got this really cool scar in my neck, you know, just in time for Halloween. So I don't know if that's gonna stick around for Halloween or not, or if that's gonna end up peeling off. Maybe it'll look really cool for Halloween here in a week. But you know, anyways, that's kind of where I've been. I mean, I went completely off the grid, so there's a few of you guys that are pretty close to me that already know the story, but I just kind of wanted to share with everybody else where I went off to. But you know, I'm gonna see if I can try to get some more videos going here. I'm not quite 100%, but I will make an effort to start getting videos back out there. But thanks for tuning in, listening to my story. Those of you that had messaged me through Instagram and Facebook, stuff like that, checking on me and making sure that I'm okay. I really do appreciate the well wishes, and you know, it's really cool to see that there's a lot of you guys out there that genuinely care about, you know, the person that's in the silly YouTube videos that they watch. But anyways, appreciate all of you guys. You know, we'll try to get the content going again here. I know the channel was kind of idle for a while, but you know, I wanna try and bring things back. You know, I miss driving this car. So anyways, like, guys, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.